Oigan, cuentavientes, imagínense qué alegría para todos ustedes que son súper melómanos, que aman la música, que tenemos hoy aquí a uno de los compositores y músicos más importantes de la historia de la música contemporánea. Nominado a 22 Grammys, ganador de 7 Grammys, 5 en una sola noche, incluida la categoría Álbum del Año por We Are, es Jon Batiste, que aparte de ser un extraordinario músico, cantante, compositor, pianista, que seguramente muchos de ustedes conocen, está de regreso con su álbum, si no me equivoco, número 7, que se llama Big Money, que va a estar disponible el 22 de agosto a nivel mundial. Y para todos los que nos escuchan en Estados Unidos, empieza su gira el 27 de agosto en Kansas, por si alguien anda por allá. Y lo tenemos en vivo y a todo color. Bravo, hoy bravo, bravo. En el estudio A de W Radio. Did you understand anything I said?
Hello, yes. Hello. Hola, hola, mi amor.
Hola, Jon. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. How you doing? It's good to see you.
It's great to see you, too. I mean, we've been your fans for a long, long time. I was just telling everybody that you've been nominated for 22 Grammys and you've won 5, including Album of the Year for We Are, and that you're launching Big Money August 22nd. And since this show is heard in the United States, I know that you're starting a tour on August 27th in Kansas. So that's everything I said right now that I opened the show.
Yeah, we've done a lot of living, though. Yeah.
Oh, I love you. Okay, talk to me about Big Money.
Big Money is love, and it's capitalism, and it's talking about the inner child. It's talking about everything, the highs and the lows of the world today. And it's doing it in a way where we can dance and we can sing along with the songs. They're very, very organic album, real music, authentic topics, authentic situations. And it's just very much, I sung the album and it's like one take. So you get that essence. We made the album in less than 2 weeks. It was just very much a capturing of a moment.
And I think that's something very interesting is that I was reading that you literally were in the same studio with all the musicians, breathing the same air, going through the same energy. And that is a very organic way of producing music, not necessarily how all music is produced. And I imagine that just that has a special magic.
Yes, it's like a sense of going back to the roots. It's the humanity. It's our communal gathering. It's like tribes. It feels like something that when you put an album like that into popular culture and then you go on the road and you perform it live and it just becomes an extension of how we create community. It's a powerful thing. I'm excited to see everybody. I got to come to Mexico. I really have to come to Mexico with Big Money. I feel that in my heart.
Oh, yeah, you must. So let me say all this in Spanish. A ver, Big Money es el nuevo álbum. Dice que es un álbum que habla de capitalismo, pero habla de la infancia, pero habla de las raíces, que es un disco muy orgánico. Y algo muy interesante es que este disco, dice él que lo grabó en 2 semanas, literal, y a diferencia de cómo se hacen muchas piezas musicales, en donde graba el cantante por un lado, los músicos por el otro, él se metió al estudio con toda la banda en estas 2 semanas y que fue un proceso como muy orgánico, muy real, lo cual automáticamente se va a transmitir esa misma energía durante los conciertos que va a hacer en Estados Unidos, que es donde empieza la gira. Y dice que él siente en su corazón que sin duda alguna tiene que venir con este nuevo disco, Big Money, a México. Have you ever been to Mexico, Jon?
Yes, I have. I want to come back and I want to perform there. And I have friends there. I have all types of artists and friends and family that are in and out of Mexico. I did a collaboration. Natalia Lafourcade.
Of course.
So we collaborated in Carnegie Hall and we want to do something in Mexico. There's so many reasons why I have to come to Mexico again.
Yeah, you have to come down. Dice que tiene que venir a México, que ha estado en México, que tiene amigos, artistas. De hecho, él hizo una colaboración en el Carnegie Hall con Natalia Lafourcade, para que ahí la busquen, seguramente está en Spotify y tendrá que venir. Now, let's go deeper.
Yes.
I read you said something that I found so interesting, because on this show, that even if we're a talk show, we do play music all the time, and especially on Fridays, like 3 hours long. We've done the history of house music. We've done the history of disco. We've done the history of rock and roll. And I read you said something very interesting that I think that this could be a mini class for everybody about rock and roll music. You know, many people think that rock and roll was invented, I don't know, by the Beatles or Elvis Presley. And I think you have an amazing story to tell of the actual origin of rock and roll, which is very well imprinted in Big Money.
Yes, this album is very much a new Americana by going back into the history and looking at all the early farmers and the sharecroppers and the people who played the banjos and the fiddles on the porch and the musicians in the South and the Black American tradition, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Fats Domino, all of the early chess records, all these things, and seeing how that is actually the beginning of rock and roll. And that is also the gospel and the spirituals and the soul is also Americana, and it's all one thing. It's all under one umbrella. And now there's new forms of music that we express that are new Americana. And if you take the old and you blend it with what's happening today, that's how we can create the future.
Yeah. And I know that you know Paul McCartney. I mean, you played with the Stones, and but actually it's the black sharecroppers and the farmers who actually invented rock and roll.
It's amazing how our society is such a synthesis of things, but in history, we leave that out. A lot of times we learn about things from the perspective of what is marketed to us and what is set as the historical precedent. But the truth is really what I love about being a musician and an artist. I can put the truth and the ancestors in their rightful place through the music that I make, and I can keep their voices alive.
You said it beautifully. Now let me try to say it as beautiful in Spanish. Le digo que algo bien interesante que leí que dijo Jon en una entrevista es que mucha gente cree, porque en este programa hemos hecho especiales de house music y de disco y de rock y de progresivo, es que el rock and roll casi es una invención o de Elvis Presley o de The Beatles. Y la verdad es que el rock and roll, la raíz, el origen del rock and roll es de los campesinos, de los agricultores negros en Estados Unidos en el sur, con obviamente figuras tan importantes como Little Richard y Fats Domino y Chuck Berry. Y en realidad este nuevo disco de Jon Batiste que tienen que escuchar, abrimos con la primera canción que es también homónima del nombre del disco, Big Money, es una representación de como músico Jon rescatando las verdaderas raíces de la música en el estilo americana, donde vuelve a emular cómo hacían rock and roll en el sur en los 40s y en los 50s, y eso es gran parte de lo que ustedes van a escuchar en este disco, y que a pesar de que él conoce a Paul McCartney, ha tocado con the Rolling Stones, obviamente el nivel de marketing y publicidad nos hace creer historias que están muy alejadas de la realidad, y que como músico él tiene el honor y el don de regresarle la verdad a quien la merece y quien es dueño de ella, en este caso aquellos campesinos negros del sur de Estados Unidos, que gracias a ellos existen The Beatles y The Rolling Stones y todo el rock and roll que ustedes escucharon en los 60s y los 70s y hasta el día de hoy. I think I made a great job, Jon.
Oh, I understand a little bit of Spanish than you did. Ooh, it's amazing. Wow, it sounds so good in Spanish.
It sounds so good in Spanish. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Jon, you worked with No ID, with Andra Day, with Randy Newman, which is so funny because I know Randy Newman because many years ago, I think like 26 years ago,
Oh
when
yeah,
A Bug's Life came out, he
yeah,
was the
yeah,
composer, right?
yeah. That's right. He was.
So that's why that name clicked with me forever. Porque Randy Newman, cuentavientes que trabaja en este álbum con él, ha hecho muchas bandas sonoras para Disney, Pixar, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., A Bug's Life y Cars, pero también Andra Day, una gran cantante y compositora, y No I.D. Wilson, un productor musical que trabaja mucho con Jay-Z, Drake y Rihanna y Big Sean y Kanye. So talk to me about this collab.
Yes, Dion, no ID Wilson. You know, we were talking for about 5 years as friends. We didn't have any desire or any intention, rather, to make music. It was just conversation about life and, technology that we were studying and philosophy that we were studying and all these different wide ranging topics. And then we discovered we might be cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a crazy thing because his mother told him that he had a relative in Louisiana. Long story short, I had just done a genealogy television program where they gave me my family tree. It was
Uh-huh.
just a wild scenario of events. So that was a sign.
So you are
And then,
related. You are related in big life.
yes, we actually are. We didn't know this for about 5 years, and we had been talking about everything. So we got to know each other. Then we found out we were cousins. And then throughout this conversation, he was telling me, I just did Jay-Z's record at the time. He finished 444 and with Beyonce and Jay-Z and he was working on the Beyonce album and Cowboy Carter, and he was saying I want to make different music than I've made before. And then I was in the process of thinking about what I wanted to do next, and it organically came together that when Beyonce was finishing her album, we worked on that album together and we started Big Money at the same time. So it was kind of like we fell into working with each other after this whole series of events, and it led to the album. This is before I knew that the album was gonna be a Americana album, for lack of a better term. This is before I knew that Beyonce was working on a country album.
Yeah.
This is before I knew he was my cousin. It was just so many things that just they aligned in a moment. So yeah, it was a very special collaboration to have Dion as my co-pilot on this.
That's amazing. Le digo que qué onda con la colaboración con Dion No ID Wilson, que como les digo, ha trabajado con Kanye West y con Jay-Z, con Beyoncé y con Rihanna y todos estos grandes personajes de la música. Y dice, es que no me lo vas a creer, llevábamos 5 años platicando sobre la inmortalidad del cangrejo y la vida, y de repente resultó que estamos emparentados. Y Jon acababa de hacer un programa de estos que te buscan tu árbol genealógico, y la mamá de No ID le decía, yo sé que tú tuviste un pariente en Luisiana, porque originalmente Jon es de Nueva Orleans, y resulta ser que sí están emparentados. Y justamente cuando esto está pasando, No ID está trabajando en el álbum de Jay-Z en el 444 y estaba trabajando Jon y él en el Cowboy Carter de Beyoncé. Y los dos, cada uno por su lado, como pensando qué tipo de álbum y qué tipo de música queremos hacer a continuación. Y la verdad es que, aunque esto estaba pasando simultáneamente, dice Jon, que no tenía muy claro que acabaría siendo un álbum estilo americana, y que no desearía haber hecho esto con nadie más que con No ID, que ha sido un extraordinario copiloto para este proyecto, que como les digo, el álbum entero sale el próximo 22 de agosto. Now, where does Randy Newman fit in?
Randy Newman. We both did scores for Pixar. You
Yeah.
you mentioned A Bug's Life. He did Toy Story. He's done all these incredible scores that were the soundtrack of my childhood. And I knew that he was a fan of Ray Charles and of New Orleans, and we met. We both were being inducted into the Library of Congress,
Mhm.
and we met. But I had his phone number from then, and I decided to call him one day. I'm the master of cold calling. I will call somebody out of the blue after 7 years of
Yeah.
not talking to them, and just one day I called Randy Newman just because I felt like we should know each other better because we have all of these things we're interested in that are similar. He's of a different generation. I really love talking to elders. It just is something that I learn a lot every time. So again, it started just from conversation, and then one day, because he wasn't singing, he wasn't actually physically singing in this time. He wasn't known to perform either.
Yeah.
He had some health challenges or whatever that were really serious, but not serious enough for it to go public. But he was saying that I'm not performing, and then all of a sudden he starts singing, and everybody's surprised because he wasn't singing for a few years. And it turns out that I would talking our meeting together inspired him to want to sing, and then eventually to record, and then we recorded a Ray Charles song. So it's full circle. It's like the whole thing was just another organic moment. This album is just like that. Every collaboration, every moment is super organic and came out of
And heartfelt.
uh, uh
And heartfelt.
yes, a real life experience.
Es que le digo que qué onda con Randy Newman, porque Randy Newman es un gran compositor, como les digo, de bandas sonoras, mucho de películas de Disney, como Toy Story, a las que mencioné. Y dice, yo soy especialista en desaparecer y luego aparecer 7 años después, te llamo de la nada de qué onda, cómo estás. Y como habíamos trabajado juntos en algunas de estas bandas sonoras, decidí un día llamarlo porque sentía que teníamos muchas cosas en común. Randy Newman es súper fan de Ray Charles y es un gran admirador de ese género musical y ese tipo de música. Y dije, no, pues vamos a conectar. Y por cuestiones de salud, Randy Newman no se estaba presentando en público, no estaba cantando. Y dice, y todo fue un círculo perfecto, todo cayó en su lugar. Y acabó colaborando, acabó aceptando volver a cantar, que es el track número 3 del álbum Big Money de Jon Batiste. Se llama Lonely Avenue, featuring Randy Newman, que es una verdadera joya para que ahora que salga el álbum completo el 22 de agosto, lo escuchen. Yo no sé si ustedes sepan, pero a ver, John está considerado como uno de los grandes músicos de nuestra era porque ha logrado hacer, y seguramente muchos de ustedes conocen el álbum en donde le dio, digamos que como un refresh a Beethoven, ha hecho cosas experimentales increíbles. Y yo siempre me pregunto, músicos de este nivel, ¿qué oyen? ¿Qué les gusta? So I was telling the audience that I consider you, and obviously it's not only me, one of the best musicians of our times. And everything that you've done and how you've experimented with music and how you brought, sounds from the past back and push them into the future makes me always wonder, how does somebody, or what does somebody with a level of musical knowledge and education listen to behind closed doors, and what do you appreciate? Like, what bands? Who?
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. I'm really very much of the belief that to be the best, to be the greatest, you have to be of service and you have to be the least. You have to be humble.
Of course.
And I'm constantly studying everything, everything that comes into my orbit. I am examining, I'm trying to learn something from it. Everything that I'm sent, whether it's from friends or whether it's in the news feed or whether it's someone that I meet on the road. I'm constantly being given these videos of younger musicians or up and coming artists who are asking for advice or tutelage. I just did a whole piano tour of Europe, and I was just on the road, just the piano and I on stage, and I met so many young musicians. So what is inspiring me? It's the idea that I still have so much to learn, so much to understand, and so much that I can give. I feel like I'm just getting started with my relationship with my audience and with the community. There's so much, it can go so much deeper.
Yeah.
So anytime that I see an artist going deep with the public, or anytime I see a young musician who's hungry and is humble and wants to learn, that's what inspires me.
Dice que lo que más le inspira, lo que más le gusta, es escuchar a todos estos nuevos músicos, las generaciones nuevas de compositores, y dice que pues a lo largo de los viajes, en la calle, en la vida, se encuentra tanta gente que le comparte lo que está haciendo y que les comparte lo que han descubierto, y que él cree que para ser grande uno siempre tiene que entender que el propósito número uno, que es el mantra de este programa, es servir a los demás y siempre mantenerse humilde y saber que nunca terminas de aprender. Entonces, así como en su gira con un piano por Europa, andaba de ciudad en ciudad, tuvo la oportunidad de conocer a tanta gente increíble, sumamente inspiradora, que está creando música de la cual él siempre aprende. But I would like to ask, what was the last thing, the last song, the last band that blew you away?
Wow, I was listening to the Tyler the Creator album
Uh-huh.
that this just came out. I also was listening to the sound of you wouldn't know this musician, but maybe you would know him. He's a piano player I grew up with, Sullivan Fortner.
Okay.
And so this is like a very different than Tyler the Creator, but I'm always listening to different things. I also was listening to the sound of Astor Piazzolla.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I heard a piece that Astor Piazzolla composed. This was an amazing experience to hear because it came out of such sorrow. His father passed away, and he composed a piece of music. It took him 3 weeks, and he composed a piece of music dedicated to his father. It's one of his most beautiful pieces of music. Wow. So it's just...
You're all around the place, all around the place. Le digo, ¿qué fue lo último que te volvió loco? Me dijo, hijo, el álbum de Tyler, the Creator, un amigo pianista mío, Astor Piazzolla, que tiene una pieza espectacular que habla de la pérdida de su padre. Entonces puedo escuchar absolutamente de todo. Jon, it was great having you on the show. Congratulations. We hope to see you in Mexico, live and in color. And congratulations for the new album coming out August 22nd. I'm sure that many followers from this show that adore you, that live in the States, will be there listening to your music. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here. It's great to see you, and I'm so grateful for what you do. And we'll see each other soon, I hope.
Absolutely. A big kiss to you. Ahí está, cuentavientes. Jon Batiste, el álbum sale el 22 de agosto, se llama Big Money. Y para todos los que están en Estados Unidos, porque las fechas de México todavía no existen, bueno, va a empezar su gira el 27 de agosto en Kansas City, para que no se lo pierdan. Y bueno, pues pueden escuchar el nuevo disco a partir del 22.